More mask confusion, why state leaders are keeping California's mask mandate in place despite new guidance from the CDC.
From rock bottom to a PhD, how an Oceanside veteran's positively San Diego commitment to change his life is now netting national recognition.
And I sit down with Dr. Wilma Wooten about her role in leading San Diego County through the pandemic.
ABC 10 News at 6 starts now.
Consistent with California, just kind of, doing its own thing throughout the whole pandemic.
Fully vaccinated Californians will still need to wear masks until June 15th. This comes after the state reviewed the CDC's latest guidelines that fully vaccinated people can ditch their masks in many situations. Good evening, I'm Kimberly Hunt.
And I'm Steve Atkinson. As our ABC 10 News reporter Mimi Alcala explains, the next few weeks will allow businesses to adjust before the mask mandate is lifted.
Should have just been a little bit more of a plan.
Monday, California Health and Human Services Secretary Dr. Mark Galley announced California will be sticking with its mask mandate until June 15th. Galley says the 4-week period will give California time to prepare for the change and also get more people vaccinated in underserved communities.
They take a step and then they're not thinking again, like what's going to be the outcome of that step and how are we going to be prepared?
Scott Lutwack is the CEO of Fit Athletic Club with 5 locations across San Diego County. He says he's been following all the pandemic guidelines, even though it means a loss of about 25% of Fit Athletics members.
Closed when we were supposed to close. We reopened when we were able to reopen. Of the members who have frozen their membership, the number one reason is the mask. And they clearly have stated, let it inform us when the mask requirement is no longer being enforced.
So when he heard the latest guidance from the CDC last week saying fully vaccinated people can remove their masks in most indoor and outdoor settings, he was thrilled for his business.
I was elated and, was hopeful that local government would follow suit and make things kind of simple. But then again, nothing throughout this pandemic has been simple.
For now, Lutwack will continue requiring masks for members and employees until June 15th.
I just walked through the floor of our downtown location. We're at our max capacity of 25%, and every single person, including staff, was, wearing masks.
Mimi Alcala, ABC 10 News.
San Diego County is aligned with the California Department of Public Health and will wait until June 15th to adopt the CDC's guidance. Supervisor Nathan Fletcher sent a statement saying, in part, this short time frame allows us to ensure everyone has access to the vaccine and time for businesses and entities across our county to prepare for the change. The county's 14-day rolling average for positive cases has fallen back to 1.5% after rising all throughout last week. Its fall was helped by our smallest increase in new cases since the earliest days of the pandemic, just 47. The county did not report any new deaths today. That is normal for a Monday.
We began the year 2020 in a global fight against an enemy mankind had never seen. And every day since, the brightest minds in bio, science, and medicine have acted together to limit the spread of the novel coronavirus SARS-CoV-2. Leading the battle in San Diego County is our public health officer, Dr. Wilma Wooten. I sat down with Dr. Wooten recently for a rare, in-depth conversation about her role, the efforts to save lives, and the background battle coming from some of those opposed to state policy. January 30th, 2020, the World Health Organization declared the outbreak of novel coronavirus a global health emergency.
They're global, but it doesn't take very long for things to move.
Public Health Officer Dr. Wilma Wooten mobilized. Her job was to try to control the outbreak among San Diego County's almost 3.5 million residents.
Because we knew it was coming.
I met up with Wooten at the county office where she has worked for over a year now, coordinating the pandemic response. She tells me as millions of human-to-human transmissions push the virus to our coast, she headed a 2-pronged charge to save lives.
This is where we have sector call meetings. You can't operate in the moment. You have to plan for the future.
This virus is throughout
the county.
She declared a local emergency, which activated government resources and expanded the county's Live Well partners into a team of business, government, schools, faith, and community organizations, as well as our healthcare systems, all coordinated out of these offices, which she is showing to the media for the first time.
Everyone working together for a common goal. That is the definition of collective impact.
While Wooten stresses it's a team effort, month after month, every afternoon she informed the public on our daily case rate and lives lost.
Once we get the information, we act as quickly as possible.
She says the scariest moment was November and December of 2020 when ICU rooms were at or above capacity.
That was very concerning. It was very, very concerning.
But Wooten describes what happens next as a miraculous thing. Vaccines started going into arms and the number of cases leveled off. But even so, state COVID restrictions remained in place.
We were just trying to do the right thing for our community to keep our residents safe, and that really is the bottom line.
But Wooten has paid the price, with San Diegans angry about those restrictions. What do you think was the biggest struggle you faced with this?
I think by and far the biggest struggle was to get the mean emails and phone calls and snail mail from the general public. Now that's something I had never experienced before.
Protesters even showed up in her neighborhood.
While I still, charged on and did what I need to do from day to day, that was scary. That was very scary.
Public health officers around the country received death threats and threats to their families. Some walked away, but not Wooten.
Failure is not an option. And if I'm going to quit, it's going to be on my terms and not because someone is threatening.
Wooten's work ethic is evident. Her first day off was 10 months into the pandemic. And while she is often the serious face of a grave situation, we saw a lighter side when the subject turned. When asked how she feels about being a role model, she says she's glad to play a part in blazing a trail for all young girls.
But I'm doing my job, and if doing my job serves as a role model, then that makes me happy.
For Wooten, it was a physician who talked to her in the 9th grade in her hometown in Alabama who she credits for changing the trajectory of her life. She made a decision. She was going into medicine. What did Mom say?
Well, I can actually tell you, my mom said to me once, "Well, don't you just want to be a nurse?" And I said, "No, Mom, I'm going to be a doctor."
From medical doctor to public health officer, and still, Mom knows best.
Oftentimes, I tell my mom that she's the doctor in the family because she always has the solutions and the remedies, and she doesn't listen to me as the doctor, so it doesn't really hold a lot of weight for her. I know she's proud of me, but yeah, she's the doctor of the family.
I want some of those home remedies, by the way. A laugh after a year holding her breath and not getting a lot of sleep, something she plans to catch up on after the first of the year if all continues as planned.
Oh, probably travel somewhere to a tropical region that's warm.
She loves to sail, and wherever she goes, there will be water.
You come to a centered place where you are very content. It's a feeling unlike none other for me.
And Dr. Wooten believes we are at a turning point with the 16 and older being vaccinated, but she stresses we still have a lot of work yet to be done. Her message to the public: vaccinations are our path forward out of this pandemic. She says the more people who get vaccinated, the more we can return to our normal way of life.
She's held an impressive role. All right, let the kids breathe. That is the motto of one group of parents here in San Diego and across California. They are asking the state and the San Diego County health officials to end the mask mandates in schools. Today, they urge parents and students to take part in a sit-out or a Zoom-out to protest the mandate.
What is allowed will continue, and parents must band together, and we can't allow this. We can't allow them to continue to mask our children. So yeah, I want it to end like right now. While
the CDC has eased mask guidance for people who are fully vaccinated, California will keep its mask mandate until June the 15th. As we have mentioned, the CDC says anyone 2 years or older who is not vaccinated should still wear face coverings in public. You can track the latest developments surrounding coronavirus and mask mandates with the ABC 10 News app. You can find it for free in the App Store.
It now costs even more to own a home in San Diego County. The median price for a single family home went up to more than $825,000 last month. That's a $25,000 increase over just 1 month. And it's nearly $200,000 more than the median 1 year ago. So what's driving the surge? A new report from the California Association of Realtors points to the usual suspects: high demand, low supply. Even so, homes are selling faster than ever, a median of just 7 days on the market.
After pleading guilty to stabbing a police canine earlier this year, a San Diego man will now spend a year in custody and 2 more on probation. Police arrested Derek Jones back in January after a standoff in the Midway district. At the time, police were responding to a trespassing call. Officers say that Jones punched them and then ran off when they confronted him. That led to the hours-long standoff, and police eventually sent in a canine, which was stabbed. That dog, Titan, needed surgery and has since recovered.
Right now, San Diegans are weighing in on the proposed city budget. The budget includes a proposal to close city libraries on Sundays and Mondays to save money. It also calls for a $19 million increase to the police department's budget. Both proposals have met criticism with some. The council has until June to pass a budget, and tonight's city council meeting is being held virtually. Public input could last for some time.
Taxes are due today. The IRS pushed the deadline from April 15th because of the pandemic. Federal tax returns and income taxes you owe, they must be turned in by midnight tonight. Now, you can still file for an extension, but that's only for filing your taxes. Any money owed for 2020, it must be paid by the end of the day. If you are expecting a refund, keep in mind the IRS is facing a backlog of nearly 30 million tax returns because of the pandemic office closure.